Welcome to another video. In this one here, I'm going to be going over a knife that I got from Concealed Patriots. Ordered it. It was $9.99, included handling and shipping. There's no taxes or anything like that. It's a free knife technically, I guess, but it costs less than $10 for the shipping and handling on it. And it looks like it's brought to me by a third-party vendor. I guess TacRight is going to be the company that distributes this, or maybe makes and imports it. But let's go inside, get this thing open, and we'll see if this knife is worth $10 or not. All right, let's open up this knife and see what it's all about. Use my Chris Reeves, probably $400 knife to open this $10 knife. But I want to compare it to some other knives I have. See if we get the box that it comes in. Get a little discount code if you want to order more. I guess it's through My Tactical Promos is who I guess does it. And I guess TacRight is the overall company. Spin it around again. EVATac gear for tactical mines. Another sticker. If you want to get stickers, you can get them for free. Comes in a decent cutout box design for it. Take it out of the wrapping. I guess it has a flicker on it. Try that again. A little stiff. Guess a little bit of practice and stuff, it might work out a little better. A lot bigger than I thought. This right here is a Emerson Kershaw that I use. Keep it around the office. When I go travel places, I use it. This is a desk knife I have at work. It's a little 511 Chinese little knockoff knife. And then at work, this is what I carry every day, is going to be the Cold Steel Lawman. But it's a little bit bigger than them. I'm going to go through and probably test this knife out for the next week or so, and then I'll let you guys know the results of it. Hopefully at the end of this video, I'm going to roll it all into one. But overall, the blade's kind of sharp. It says stainless steel. Overall, the handles are kind of thin. They're not as thick as they could be. The blade, decent thickness. Kind of interesting curved design on it. You can see some of the cut and mill marks where they work the blade out and everything. But it has a pocket clip, liner lock. So it's got a little bit of stiffness to it. I'm sure once I work on it and break it in, it'll work a little bit better. It's designed also to serve as a seatbelt cutter or web strap cutter. I don't know how well that'll work. We'll have to look into that. I guess the blade in there could wear off a bit. Also looks like you might be able to use a little bit of the blade in here to do some stuff with it and everything. But let's test this thing out and we'll get back to you. It has a little striker here for glass. I doubt there's any windows I can break out, but you never know. Alright, so carrying this knife for the past week or so, I've kind of done a little bit of wear, I guess. I don't know how well it'll show up here on the edges and everything. But it's basically aluminum scales on it with steel liners. Where this curved pocket clip goes, just a little bit below there is where the blade line is. So this part right here is a lot wider than it needs to be. Kind of awkward in the hand. It does have these thumb studs on it. If I try to open it with the thumb studs, I don't know how well it'll show, but it kind of ends up almost catching my thumb. It's spring assisted, but it's not that spring assisted. So using the flipper definitely works better. The flipper part kind of worked its way in. When I first got it, it was a little stiffer in binding, but now overall it works pretty good. The seatbelt cutter back here, I was trying to find some straps to try and test it on, but the only thing I really did was cut some 550 cord with it. If you push it in towards the top and pull, it will cut through 550 cord, so that's a good thing, I guess. Overall design, Seems pretty tactical overall, the way they made it look. This right here is a Benchmade I have that's spring assisted, and it pops real easy. So the heavy blade on here and the lighter spring tension, it doesn't pop that well. Using the thumb studs is something that is probably going to be kind of risky to do almost, because my thumb gets caught kind of on the blade there as it opens. So not overall impressed with that part of it. The weight of it is kind of heavy. Wasn't able to really find out, other than the blade being listed as stainless steel, what type of steel it is. It is sharp from the factory. It'll cut paper and stuff like that. I do need to do a little bit more testing on it, and I may end up removing the thumb studs, and I might take off the pocket clip here. The deep carry pocket clip is kind of neat. It does go down in the pants pretty well, but it's kind of a heavy blade, not something I would use every day. But what I'm probably going to end up doing, I think, is end up putting this in my Jeep, where if someone does break in and I lose it, it's only a $10 knife, but if something does happen, I do have a knife on me. The curved blade right here is probably going to be hard to sharpen if you have like a flat sharpening stone to get an edge on it. But with the ceramic rod part, you'll be able to run it down and everything. So you definitely need something other than a flat sharpening stone if you want to get this curved part of the blade. Front part right here you can sharpen just fine. But like I said, overall, yeah, it's a $10 knife. I would say it's better than some of the $15, $20 gas station knives and everything. Let's do a little bit more testing on it and see what we end up with. All right, so I removed the thumb studs from it. They're basically just pushed in. They're not threaded or anything like that. They just kind of have a friction press to take them out. And then I took off the carry clip. The only way you can carry it is basically kind of like right-handed, tip down. Most of the knives I carry, I like to carry tip up if it's in my pocket and everything. But like I said, overall, the knife's a little bigger and heavier than something that I would carry. But like I said, it is semi-decent blade so far. Probably need to do a little bit more cutting and testing as far as the edge retention. But for a $10 knife, it's okay. A little bit overly aggressive, I think, in the looks. But for what it is, I really can't complain about it that much. If you want to get a nice knife, spend upward of $100 to $200 for a pocket knife if you want something nice. This is just something that was low price, something I wanted to get. I was thinking it might be good for like a grandkid or something like that maybe, but the way it opens with your thumb almost hitting it, I just get rid of the thumb stud, and the flipper on it works just fine. But like I said, the overall design, they could have probably slimmed it down here and brought it in, because the blade only sits probably midway in the handle, and there's plenty of space even with the bolsters that are in there to keep it sandwiched together and everything. But like I said, overall, it is what it is for $10. Can't complain about it. Most likely I'll put it in my glove box in my Jeep or in the center console, where if for some reason it does get stolen, hey, it's a $10 knife. All right, so to wrap up a final review on this knife right here, for $10 overall, it's a $10 knife. I think that's fair to evaluate it based on what it is. There's cheaper gas station knives. The length of it overall could be something that affects some people. Let's get a measurement on it. From the tip to the striker, it's going to be right at 9 inches, going from the striker back there to the front tip of the blade. It's going to be 3 3/4 for the overall length of the blade, and going back here to 4 inches where it kind of stops officially, but right about 3.5 to 3/4 is the blade length. Some states that may end up be considered illegal depending on where you're at. Overall thickness of the spine is good. Where it tapers and you get this false edge on top, kind of leaves the tip pretty thin. Not sure what kind of metal it is, so the tip's probably going to be prone to snapping if you work on it too much, because I don't know what the hardness is, but they would have been better keeping the same thickness and just gone to more of a drop point blade than the false edge here, but that's just my opinion on it. See how well it cuts paper. I'm not one of those pros that hold stuff and cuts with everything, but probably at the wrong angle for this. Yeah, it's folding over, but I mean, it slices paper, it cuts like it should. I can probably put more of an edge on it if I want. I'm not sure how well it'll hold up. The little boxes and cutting tabs I've put it through, it did just fine. Overall, it is what it is. It's a cheap knife, has that tactical look to it. A little bigger and bulkier than I would want overall, but something I could probably put in my Jeep, use if I needed to, or if I end up having something I need to barter with someone helps me out and does something or reminds me of something, I could give to them as a gift or an emergency. If I needed a blade in my vehicle, I got a fixed blade in the back of my vehicle, but this right here is something I can put in the front console. If I need to cut something with it, it'll probably do that. If I need to defend myself with it, it'll work as a self-defense knife if need be. Has a glass breaker. I don't know how well it works because I wasn't able to test it. The strap cutter on it was good for cutting 550 cord. Like I said, for a $10 knife, something that you get at a gas station or something like that, overall it's a good knife. I would say this reminds me that if you do budget properly and you do your adulting stuff, buy yourself a good quality knife and don't lose it. If you're prone to losing things, maybe a cheap knife like this is good. If you're going to travel somewhere and need to pick up something, and sometimes you pick up a cheap knife knowing you can't take it with you to your next destination depending on where you are overseas or what you're doing. Hope you enjoyed this video. Cav Cop out.